6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Hassan Gilani. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has expressed government's resolve to provide opportunities to businessmen from Pakistan and Turkey to further develop mutually beneficial trade and economic linkages. Pakistan and Turkey have agreed to enhance trade volume to $5 billion in next 3 years. Economic Cooperation Organization Trade and Development Bank will provide a soft loan of €150 million to Pakistan. President of Azerbaijan says decision to give 5-year tax exemption on import of Pakistani rice is a reflection of our fraternal ties with Islamabad. Senior APHC leader says Pakistan is the only hope of oppressed Kashmiri people facing worst Indian brutalities in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In FIFA World Cup in Qatar, Australia beat Tunisia by 1-0 while match between Saudi Arabia and Poland is underway. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif says deep-rooted brotherly relations between Pakistan and Turkey will be further consolidated through strengthening trade and investment ties. He expressed these views while addressing Turkish business leaders in a meeting organized by Foreign Economic Relations Board of Turkey in Istanbul today. Underlining the important role played by businessmen to create economic linkages between the two countries, Prime Minister appreciated important contribution of Foreign Economic Relations Board of Turkey, known as DEIK, in developing commercial ties between Pakistan and Turkey. Shehbaz Sharif expressed government's strong commitment to provide opportunities to businessmen from both sides to further develop mutually beneficial linkages. The Prime Minister also expressed the confidence that the recently signed Trade in Goods Agreement will become a basis for achieving higher trade volumes commensurate with true potential of existing between the two sides. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif also held one-on-one meetings with leading business leaders of Turkey. He appreciated contribution of business enterprises operating in Pakistan to the development and growth of Pakistan's economy and urged businessmen to invest in Pakistan, particularly in the evolving energy sector, and assured complete support of Pakistan's government. The participants appreciated Prime Minister's sentiments and assured to continue their contribution to deepening bilateral trade and economic relations. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif held separate meetings with President Al-Barayak Group, Ahmed Al-Barayak, and President DAIK and CEO of Pak Group, Neil Olpak, in Istanbul today. On the occasion, Istanbul-based Pak Yatırım Company showed interest in solar energy investments in Pakistan. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif says in addition to reviewing whole spectrum of bilateral relations, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and he discussed ways and means to achieve the target of increasing trade volume to $5 billion in 3 years. In a tweet today, he said, "We vowed to ensure effective implementation of Trade and Goods Agreement in this regard." Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif says there is infinite potential of enhancing trade and investment relations between Pakistan and Turkey. Addressing a meeting of Pakistan-Turkey Business Council in Istanbul today, Prime Minister said his government will do everything possible to address the issues faced by Turkish businessmen in Pakistan. Shehbaz Sharif said both countries have signed an agreement to enhance trade volume to $5 billion in the next 3 years. He said we should make utmost efforts to achieve this target, rather double it in the given time frame. As regards the launch of third of the 4 Milgem corvette ships for Pakistan Navy, Prime Minister said defense cooperation between two countries will move forward in the days to come. The Prime Minister also appreciated Turkish help for the flood victims in Pakistan. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has underlined Pakistan government's diligent efforts to ameliorate key obstacles hampering Turkish investment in Pakistan and assured the government's commitment to ensure ease of doing business. In a tweet, Minister for Information and Broadcasting Maryam Aurangzeb said that Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, while addressing Pak-Turkey Business Council meeting in Ankara drew attention towards immense untapped business and trade aspects between the two countries. Mariam Aurangzeb said the Prime Minister persuaded Turkish business community about Pakistani government's unflinching support and vowed to herald new era of trade diplomacy. This is Radio Pakistan. Economic Cooperation Organization Trade and Development Bank will provide a soft-term loan of €150 million to Pakistan. This was announced by the president of ECO Trade and Development Bank, Yeltsin Yüksel, during a high-level meeting with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif in Istanbul today. He said the financial package will contribute to flood relief efforts as well as financial support for import of fuel. He said overall financial assistance to Pakistan since the inception of the bank would touch approximately $1 billion after disbursement of this committed amount. On the occasion, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif thanked the ECO Trade and Development Bank and appreciated the important role of the bank in meeting development-related pursuits of member countries. He underlined that the provision of financial assistance by ECO Bank at a time when Pakistan faces economic and environmental challenges is highly appreciated by the government and people of Pakistan. President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev has said Pakistan's Gwadar port offers a huge opportunity to connect the region. Addressing the international conference titled Along the Middle Corridor Geopolitics, Security and Economy in Baku, he said, "It is not a big deal to connect the port with our infrastructure." Ilham Aliyev said, "Connecting the region will create new opportunities for trade that all countries have established to foundation for sincere cooperation." He was appreciative of Pakistan's consistently supporting Azerbaijan in the context of Azerbaijan-Armenia relations, saying the people of his country highly value this political and moral support. He said, if we can get high quality rice from our brotherly country, then why should we procure it from somewhere else? He said this decision is also a reflection of our fraternal ties. Senior leader of All Parties Hurriyat Conference Ghulam Ahmad Gulzar has said that Pakistan is the benefactor and only hope for the oppressed people of occupied Jammu and Kashmir who have been facing the worst Indian state terrorism for the last over 7 decades. In a statement issued in Srinagar today, he said that at a time when Modi-led fascist Indian government is hell-bent to eliminate every Kashmiri and snatch their land, Pakistan is playing an important role in exposing before the world the Indian brutalities in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. He said the Modi regime is taking one step after another to implement the Hindutva agenda of RSS and disempowering the Muslims in the held territory. He further said that India has added over 7 lakh new voters, majority of them non-local Hindus and retired personnel of Indian forces in the final electoral rolls of the territory. At least 3 people were killed and 11 others wounded when a shooter opened fire at 2 schools in southeastern Brazilian state of Espírito Santo. According to police, the shooter was identified as a 16-year-old boy who wore military-style camouflage attire with Nazi symbols. In the FIFA World Cup, Australia beat Tunisia by 1-0 in Qatar today. In other fixtures of the day, match between Saudi Arabia and Poland is underway, while France will take on Denmark at 9 p.m. And now the headlines. Before that, finally the weather. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, foggy conditions are likely to develop over few plain districts of Punjab during morning hours. And now the headlines once again. Prime Minister has expressed government's resolve to provide opportunities to businessmen from Pakistan and Turkey to further develop mutually beneficial trade and economic linkages. Pakistan and Turkey have agreed to enhance trade volume to $5 billion in the next 3 years. Economic Cooperation Organization Trade and Development Bank will provide a soft loan of €150 million to Pakistan. And this is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.